It is quite extraordinary that to this day, the America's Cup is the oldest sporting trophy on the planet of any sport in any period of time. It's just such an enduring competition which has moved so well with the times, yet is still full of twists and turns, intrigue, skullduggery, you name it, the America's Cup's got it. The role of the Challenge of Record is very important. It's a huge responsibility because it's the Challenge of Record who helps to shape the next Cup. So we're working at the moment very closely with Sir Ben and the team, with our friends at Royal New Zealand Yacht Squadron, to ensure that the next Cup will be as open as it possibly can, with as many participants as we can muster, because that's what makes good competition. We were absolutely delighted when the Royal New Zealand Yacht Squadron proposed to us for this next Cup for AC37 we would be running a youth cup event and a women's cup event as well, and we embraced that wholeheartedly. It's incredibly important that we see a pathway and we create a pathway for young sailors coming up. We also need to address the balance of women in sailing, and it's something that we really want to see happen, and we're just delighted to be part of that historic beginnings of a Women's America's Cup. This is a building just full of the most extraordinary paintings, books, artefacts from all walks of yachting. But there's one significant artefact that's still missing: the America's Cup.
This is the Sailing World on Water, October 8, 2021. Here are the highlights of the sport of sailing in the last 7 days. Formula One meets the America's Cup. The British challenger of record principal, Sir Jim Ratcliffe, and his sailing head, Sir Ben Ainslie, announced that they are combining with the Mercedes-AMG Petronas F1 team to see how they can lift the cup from the Kiwis in the next America's Cup race series. The first 4 competitors in the prototype category of the 23rd Mini Transat Eurochef are now in Santa Cruz de la Palma, as Russian 6.5-meter sailor Irina Grasheva, boat 800, Path, crossed the finish yesterday in 4th. The remainder of the fleet is stretched out across 500 miles in terms of distance to the finish. Irina, who said that she was sick, was the first woman home. Harm Muller-Spreer's platoon crew took the lead at the Menorca 52 Super Series Sailing Week after a 4th place and a race win on day 1 from Andy Soriano's Allegra. Armel Leclerc and Kevin Escoffier crossed the line of the Défi Azimut at the Isle de Groix in the lead. The 2 men came to of the 380 miles to be covered in the Bay of Biscay, ahead of Thomas Coville and Thomas Roussel in Sodebo 3, from Yves Leblevec and Anthony Marchand in Actual 3. In the GC32 World Championships, Roman Hagara and Hans-Peter Steinaker, on the Red Bull sailing team, started the day with a 6-point lead. The Swiss 2-time America's Cup winners were on fire, unable to put a foot wrong in the bigger conditions, posting a 1-1-2-1 scoreline, going out winners. Day 4 of the 52 Super Series in Menorca, and the front has gone through, leaving no wind behind it for the fleet to race in. Platoon is still ahead of Allegra. Real Team Sailing won the first TF35 championship in Scarlino. With black clouds rolling over the course, the morning of the final day racing looked like winds at 18 knots and building to gusts of 25 knots. Principal Race Officer Benoit Deutsch officially called off racing for the day. The final day of the 52 Super Series was a washout with no wind, so with John Kostecki and Jordi Calafat combining on tactics and strategy, for owner-driver Muller-Spreer, the platoon team composed a scoreline of 4-3-6-4-1 to win by a couple of points from Andy Soriano's Allegra. Now over to Sir Jim Ratcliffe in Brackley, at the Ineos Britannia team announcement.
Welcome to the Inside Tax Show, everybody. We're back after 6 months and a lot has happened. That is an understatement. We have our regular crew alongside us. We've got Jim, Ben and Dave with us today, and we're also joined with Toto Wolff and James Allison here too. You may have noticed that we are not by our usual location, by the sea. Oh no. We have moved. We find ourselves in landlocked Brackley instead, at the home of the most successful Formula One team of all time, Mercedes-AMG F1 team. What you may be asking is happening. Here's your answer.
The America's Cup is the ultimate team sport. To win, we have to assemble a world-class team. Every single team member, from design, build, sailing, support, is reliant on one another to get the best possible performance from the boat.
Looking for a nice solid late to right turn, he will feed.
We're taking on teams with over 25 years of experience. We're entering our third consecutive British Challenge, bringing with us the continuity needed for success. We have a team that can handle adversity and that knows how to fight back, learning from the hard-fought lessons of our previous campaigns.
Trouble for Ineos Team UK.
Our approach will be rigorous, fusing together the talent and creativity from Formula One and the America's Cup. Collaboration will be key. Mercedes-AMG F1 Applied Science bring a legacy of design and continuity. They're proven winners. It's in their DNA. It's in their culture. Together we will take on one of sport's most technical challenges, inspiring a future generation of problem solvers, whilst providing a pathway for inclusion and diversity in our sport. The team are ready to take on the challenge.
Okay, let's put a little bit more flesh on the bones and talk to the team about exactly why we're here. Jim, let's start with you. You're here, you haven't run for the hills, you're still with us. That's wonderful news. Tell us about this unique sporting partnership that we have here and why it's so important to you to fuse your Ineos sports teams together, and this one in particular.
Well, I think Formula One and the America's Cup, they share this common theme where you need to be excellent in the sport and the technology. And not many sports really share that sort of hybrid thing. And obviously the Mercedes guys on my left here, they're probably the most successful Formula One team there's ever been. And that's a combination of, you know, good drivers, but wonderful technology. I mean, they've had a car that's capable of winning. And it's the same challenge in the America's Cup, really. I don't think the Brits have ever arrived at an America's Cup with a boat that probably could have won, even though we've had some fantastic sailors. So, and our boat that we had for the AC36, it wasn't capable of winning. Technically, it wasn't quite good enough. And we learnt lots of lessons, but I think the combination of, you know, the technical expertise that Mercedes Formula One team have, together with Ben and his team, I think has the prospect of being quite exciting.
I feel sad. Really? Yes, I think it was not the best race for me, and I was not in the best condition myself. I was very tired. I was ill when I started. I was ill for 5 days, and I was very tired. So probably I was a little bit lazy to change the sails in time, because I was very tired. Yeah, actually, Cap Finisterre was very nice place. I liked it a lot because it was a lot of strategy, light winds, and very interesting to play with shore. Really interesting. So Cap Finisterre was super.
Second day of racing in Menorca, much better forecast, more exciting with winds up to 20 knots, and in the big breeze, every detail counts.
It's a windage, you know. We need every single millimeters, and maybe I went a little too far away. But yeah, aside for that, it's good sometimes to have something different.
So second version will race to 15-16 knots of a breeze on the start line. Pin end is busy, Interlodge Gladiator down there. A bad start from Quantum Racing in the middle of the line, but the real action is at the top end of the line where Brunello have the door closed on them by the French team on Paprec. Brunello sustained damage to their bowsprit and have to do turns.
They close the door as they should do, and we try to get in because at one stage it looks like we could, but then we crash. It's our fault and we are sorry for that for them.
We have some damage on the boat, so I think we're going to spend part of the night to repair the boat.
Meantime, Allegri starts solid off the middle of the line, going well.
It was reasonably right off the line. We had quite a nice lane, so we're happy to go straight. When the breeze headed, we were able to attack and go across.
And at the top mark, it's Allegri leading from Provezza in second, Gladiator third, and Thailand 72 round in fourth. And at the finish line, it's Allegra's second win in a row. Race 3, the breeze is still up, in fact maybe 17 knots at the start line. It's busy again at the pin end of the line where you see Paprec and Brunello in particular. Quantum Racing are over the start line and have to recross, but once again a solid start from Allegri.
We went underneath Interlodge. When the lefty came, they were spat, and we were able to go into it a bit more and cross them on the next exchange.
And at the top mark, it's Allegri leading from Brunello second, Interlodge in third, Phoenix in fourth.
Leading the engine is always hard, but it felt right. The waves lined up nicely in the right-hander, and it felt like we ran the clock down quite nicely, going on it on a very nice righty.
And there is a good recovery from Quantum, who get themselves up to third at the second top mark, but they lose Platoon on the downwind and finish fourth. On the finish line, it's Allegri getting their third win from 3 starts. Brunello gets second.
We're sailing with a lot of confidence, and we're really happy with how we're going as a team. Andy has done a fantastic job of driving the boat, so great teamwork all round.
So standings after 3 races: in first place Allegri on 3 points, 3 wins. Second Phoenix on 13 points, also on 13 points, Platoon. Well, a second day of racing here in Menorca, done and dusted, great conditions, 15-16 knots of breeze all the way through. More breeze expected tomorrow. Andy Soriano's team sailing with a load of confidence, winning all 3 races. Can they keep up the momentum into the next day?
l'intérêt de ces entraînements-là, c'est de pouvoir pousser le curseur le plus loin possible pour voir quelle est la limite. Qu'on ne dise pas après que la voile, c'est pas du sport.
Un peu plus d'air là. Les autres bateaux qui sont autour de nous, c'est un peu nouveau pour nous avec mon Populaire 11.
S'entraîner tout seul, c'est bien, mais là, d'être au contact comme ça en régate, c'est encore mieux.
C'est super sympa, en tout cas, il y a une bonne dynamique à bord. La nuit a été assez étonique, on avait pas mal de manœuvres à faire avec Kevin, mais tout s'est bien passé, on a réussi à conserver la tête de la course. Et donc on glisse voilà, à 32 de moyenne vers l'arrivée. Objectif rempli, déjà d'avoir pas eu de soucis sur le bateau, et après la confrontation avec les autres, on a vu qu'on avait, voilà, on avait une bonne vitesse, en tout cas on était dans le match et ça c'est positif pour la suite.
We have 8 international teams here on the start line. We're looking forward to crown a world champion at the end of the week, and we're really happy to be here with the support from the community here, from the local community, the island, the city, the local club and the marina, with all its supporters, helpers and volunteers. We feel really well taken care of, and we're looking forward to many more races here in Villasinius.
Great week for us. Every day we kept getting more comfortable in the boat, in the races, and in the end we had a very solid last day that enabled us to come on the podium.
We were leading the last race, but unfortunately we broke one foil just before the last downwind mark.
It was really tight racing with Alinghi. Managed to be ahead of us on points, and then it came all down to the last race. It's definitely a lot of emotions for Hans-Peter and myself. It's actually our final year, finishing with such a great win, a world title in the GC32 class. I think that's style.
It was very emotional, and the celebration was really cool.
Welcome to day 4 here in Menorca. We've had 2 good days of racing. Unfortunately, the forecast is not so good today. It's going to be very, very light. So stand by, cross your fingers. Let's hope for wind.
It's looking hard to race today because the forecast is not very consistent and not very optimistic. There are 2 models that are very pessimistic with no racing basically all day and some rain cloud coming over Menorca and potentially some little thunderstorm. So I think Maria is doing the right thing to take us all the boats out and see if anything develops and try to find a 1 hour window to set a race.
Oh, it's a good time. Can't complain. Yeah, really enjoying sailing and being involved in the Super Series. Going in the right direction, up and down, lots to improve on, learning lots as we go along, yeah. Still getting the boat around the course is a little bit of a challenge for us, but once we can get that dialed in, should be able to hang in there a little bit more.
No racing today then because of the lack of wind. The fleet went afloat and sat and waited patiently, but unfortunately then nothing. Top of the table then is still Platoon, Harmuller Spears team who won here in 2019, going into the final day with a very small lead.
We need to keep thinking that we say last days and what we learned from last days and keep in mind and be focused for tomorrow because everything can happen in the last day. We try like a team to be strong. It's very difficult because in this regatta and this circuit everyone is super strong, so you cannot relax any minute. Quite difficult conditions because especially the waves are bigger than normal. We are sailing in the Mediterranean, so to take the momentum on and how to sail with the waves is different.
Yeah, quite brilliant, good fun. It's good that we can just take the boat, go around the course and have some nice racing in those conditions. That was very fun, yeah.
Oh, it's certainly been good fun. I mean, it was particularly yesterday was really awesome. Some of those waves were very impressive.
Meantime, it's a good chance for the guys here, some of whom have been extremely busy sailing over the last few weeks, getting just a little bit of a chance to enjoy Mahon and the beautiful island of Menorca.
Beautiful. It's a fabulous setting. So, it's calm and the people are wonderful. So really having a nice time.
Well, we're always hoping for a Super Saturday showdown. This time we might be just hoping for wind, but it does look quite promising.
Great weekend of competition, very strong teams. Real team still the team to beat this season. Quite a few classes foiled downwind, but foiling upwind is another level of emotion, another level of demanding sailing, and I think this class has achieved that objective.
We made a few mistakes, but less than the last event, so yes, we are really happy with the result. The boat the TF35 is amazing. Being able to foil and fly with only 7 knots upwind, it's quite incredible.
Yeah, it was a great battle all the year with all the team. Maybe it looks easy from outside, but inside the boat it's hard work to sail it well. But yeah, the boat is fantastic.
Well, it's the last day here in Mahon. Unfortunately, the forecast is for a light day once again. Maybe just a little time window around about 1 o'clock where we might get a race in. But it's a day when the optimists are optimistic and the pessimists are pessimistic.
It unfortunately looks a little bit similar to what it was yesterday with no much gradient. The island doesn't have enough surface to produce significant sea breeze. It will be some in the south coast, but possibly not strong enough to be able to do a decent regatta. So even if I'm a very optimistic person today, I'm not that optimistic.
We're feeling like we want to go sailing, Unfortunately, the weather's not shaping up the best, so we're keeping our fingers crossed that we'll get a race in. But it's been another very tight regatta. I mean, the scores are really, really close for the bulk of the fleet, and so hopefully we get to sail and see where it goes.
Well, on schedule, the fleet went afloat looking for wind, hoping we can get a race away. But in the end, there was insufficient. In spite of the efforts, there was no race. And so, Harm Muller Spears' team topped the table and win the Royal Cup.
Well, I think if after the first day you said we were going to finish on the podium, you would have taken it. We're still battling a little bit with inconsistency in some of our decision making in the back of the boat, and still half the season to play for with 10 races on the table and a World Championship. So the next event's going to be really good.
We started out strong this regatta. Unfortunately, we had a little bit of a hard, tough day the third day. But overall, we're doing the right things. We're sailing well, and it's little things, and it costs you in this fleet. So, but overall, really, really happy.
It's really nice. I mean, we had a hard week here with so many different conditions, especially the 2 days with a lot of wind and big waves. They have been really tough, I would say. The feeling is the class is so close and all the boats could win here, and it's really, really expensive if you're doing a small mistake.
The final standings in Menorca then: Platoon win on 18 points, Allegre are second on 20 points, Quantum Racing third on 23 points. Over the piste then, Menorca delivering a good range of conditions. It was a pretty compact regatta with only 5 races, but a light day and then 2 good days, and in the end Platoon coming out on top. Well, that's it from Menorca from the second regatta of the season. Platoon winning. Join us in Palma in November.